Hey there, CPO and CJ here, and today we're doing something again to the 2004 TJ build, and that is getting rid of this factory bumper. We have a front and rear bumper. Tonight we're doing the front bumper, and then we'll move to the rear bumper. And here's what we have going on. This is the Smittybilt SRC front bumper with D-rings. So we picked this bumper, actually CJ picked this bumper, primarily because it's a very clean bumper, and we like the way it looks. So, and given the nature of this build, it was sort of a perfect fit for us. It was a budget price point, and so anyway, CJ, open her up. Let's look at it. Looks well packaged enough. While you're looking at that, let me see what kind of hardware comes in this thing. Pretty simple. Instructions and a couple of these spacer washers. Huh. I don't know, let's look. Alright, yeah, so I'll be honest with you, I didn't read the manual past this part, but basically we're using the factory bolts and putting the rock crawler bumper in place of the factory bumper. And these spacers are for the CJ only, and this is a TJ, so not a problem there. So we're basically not using any of this stuff. We're just going to go straight to the bumper. So this is it, the SRC rock crawler from Smittybilt. And like I said, pretty simple, clean design. We're not going with a winch probably anytime soon. So just a bumper. I'm a big fan of D-ring shackle tabs, so we have those on there, but outside of that it's going to be perfectly clean. So let's install it. So the first thing we need to do is take this old bumper off. There are 3 of these Torx. These are T55s, 2 on top and 1 underneath on each side. CJ has gone ahead and sprayed them down with PB Blaster to sort of help work some things loose to make it easier. And I will say, this vehicle is, what, 14 years old, so those bolts have been in there for a long time, and I imagine it's not going to be easy to get them out. As a matter of fact, we're probably going to need to coerce them out a bit. All right, so start with this one, CJ. All right, so we got a T55 on a 3/8 inch ratchet. And so CJ, remember what I said about not stripping them. The key is to push and put as much downward pressure on this, in this case, to keep the bit pressed into the head of the bolt at the same time as you rotate it. Now, which way you're going to rotate? You're going to probably want to start, let go. You're going to want to start here, and then you're going to be coming this way, lefty loosey.
Doesn't matter if I put pressure on that.
It doesn't matter so much, but I would just literally put my whole hand down and push that in there as deep as I can get it, and hold it down there, and then see if it's too tight to rotate. Too tight?
Yep.
All right, so like I said, we're probably going to need to coerce this. I have a trick of the trade. All right, so what we need is a breaker bar or something to apply some leverage, because this handle is really small. Can't get enough leverage on it. So this is a handle off my high lift jack. Works well with my 3/8 inch ratchets. And basically what I'm going to do is go right back where CJ was, put as much downward pressure as I can, at the same time putting some leverage with the breaker bar, and see how that breaks off. It almost takes something that was impossible and makes it easy. Got that, CJ? Mm-hmm. All right, so let me get these two. Now that's loose. And once you get them to that point, then they're easily doable by hand. Still continue to put that downward pressure though. Alright, so I'll let you do those two in the same fashion. You saw how I did that? I used the pressure of my legs to sort of easily, gently apply pressure. And then the key to not stripping these torques is to put as much downward as you go. Nice and easy. There you go. Ratchet it back. Breaker bar is your friend. And of course the great thing about a high lift jack is I've always got that breaker bar with me, which also makes things handy. Now one other thing to note while he's doing that is we did have to disconnect our fog lights here, so I snuck back there and disconnected them. It's a simple plug connector. So I took care of that ahead of time so we wouldn't forget.
Dang it.
Hey, you need more breaker bar? The breaker bar makes it so easy you feel like you could do it by hand, but that's just all that leverage. Alright, now we've got the tops loosened. We're going to take care of the bottom and go ahead and remove those bolts. It's a little harder to apply pressure upward at the same time as you rotate, so CJ, I'll help you out here, and I will rotate as you push up on the bottom. That way we can make sure that we don't risk damaging these bolts, and we'll do it the easy way. Got it?
Yep.
Alright, now we need to pull off that license plate. So when we pull the bumper off, oop, I was gonna grab it doesn't get all bent up. And unfortunately, Maryland is a front license plate state, so we're gonna have to mount this to our nice clean bumper when we get done, but there's some options for that as well without having to drill holes. Now that we got the bottom bolts out, we can take out those top four completely, just knowing that the entire bumper now is sort of resting there on those. And as you can see, he's holding the bumper with his knee to keep it pressed up against those frame rails while he loosens up those bolts. That way it doesn't fall down before he's ready. Alright, pull that hook off. Your bumper's free. Go ahead and take it off and set it aside. Goodbye, old factory bumper. You did a good job for many years, but now it's time to replace you with something cooler. Alright, so that's what it looks like with no bumper, which is actually pretty darn awesome. I kind of like the no bumper look, but anyway, so the new bumper is going to go in exactly the same way that the old one came off. It's going to go over, fit right over those same frame rails, line up those same bolt holes, and then boom, Bob's your uncle. Were you going to say Bob's your uncle?
Yeah. Thought about it.
You know which way is the top and which way is the bottom?
I was going to ask you.
What do you think?
This is the top. Because there's two holes compared to... Right, there's both the same.
There's two holes on both sides. What is it about the shape that might give you a clue?
It's a flat goes on the bottom.
Does the flat go on the bottom? If you wanted more ground clearance in the corners, would you rather be flat or angled up?
Angled up.
Okay.
So this is the bottom.
Yes.
So
right. So you have to flip it over. Such a mean dad making you do this all by yourself. Here, let me grab. I got this side. So it looks like it's designed to just mount up with one bolt instead of two. Stay, bumper. I do like that clean look. Of course, we'll figure out what to do with your factory fog lights next, and then we'll take these off. I'm not a fan of leaving these on unless you need them, so they'll just have those tabs there. Anyway, let's get this thing bolted up. All right, CJ. Go ahead and hand thread that in. These are pretty nasty.
The other ones.
See if this one's any better.
That's the same.
I don't think that that's straight. So this is an important actual point. Is it's easy to cross thread, so you have to get them lined up. Now see how that went down at least like a quarter to half an inch. That's what you're looking for. So if it doesn't do that by hand, you got to stop and redo it. So go ahead. We're going to put an empty on the top, right? So this spot, because the bumper's not using it. See how once I get it straight up and down, it goes through. If I can get it to thread through like a quarter to a half an inch, I know I'm good. Go ahead and do that to the other side. And even though we're not putting anything here right now on the back one, we'll go ahead and put the bolt there as a placeholder. And then when we get a winch plate in the future, it'll probably use both of those. Yeah, that was good. Last one.
Nope.
I think you're good. It's still turning in by hand, right?
Not anymore.
No. Let me look. Because I think, yeah, that's right. That's in there. It's just cold and nasty. Yeah, that's good. And I noticed these back ones are tilted a little bit forward. Matter of fact, there I even got it even further that time. All right, and then we'll do the same thing, putting in the bottoms. Get it started before we tighten anything up. Because you may find it doesn't line up right away.
It doesn't.
So what do you need to do? Where do you need to line the hole?
I'm just going more down.
More down as in if I pull up on these front.
Hang on, let me try it. Yeah, it needs to go forward.
When you say forward, you mean?
That way,
That's
towards
backwards.
me. Right, hang on, lift your forward. Just a smidge. No, towards me, okay. Right there. I don't like this because I'm scared I'm not going to screw it in straight.
You'll know if it's not going to screw in straight right away.
I got it in pretty far.
So as long as you're doing it by hand, you're good. It's what people make a mistake of doing is hitting it with a hand tool or a power tool right away, and then that's when they strip and cross thread. But as long as you can screw it in a few threads with your hand, you know you're in there.
Go like, alright, go towards you like a centimeter here, like right there. Okay.
All right. Since these bolts are so long, and we got a long ways to go to get them down, I waited until now to put some thread locker on those last few threads, and we'll do that to each of these bolts just to ensure that they're not going to vibrate loose later. Okay, CJ, go ahead and finish her up. All right, last bolt. Now we did make sure that the bumper was aligned left and right, centered as best we could. Put some more thread lock on these lower bolts before finishing them. And this is just about it. This is the first steel mod we've done to your Jeep, right, CJ? The rest of it's all been fabric.
Yep.
So anyway, D-rings, like I said, I'll pull those off. We can put these in your Bartack molly bags in the back. So a couple reasons why I take these off, and some of it's just experience, but they will bang up and down and back and forth and destroy your powder coat on your bumper. They'll rattle and make noise, and quite frankly, they're unnecessary unless you need them for recovery. So, and I think it looks better without them, to be honest with you. So anyway, this is it. The Smittybilt SRC Rock Crawler Classic front bumper on a 2004 TJ. CJ also elected not to install these fog lights right now, although I think we could probably mount them in these holes here. He opted to leave them out, and that's his decision. So right now we're going to go with a clean front, but we'll hang on to those just in case. Say thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
And I'll catch you on the next one. Yes!